Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a place that you might not be able to see much of. I'm not sure how your exposure is in this place, because it's pretty dark. And it happens to be one of the few places in Brisbane where you can get free parking for 1.5 hours. But one of the stipulations is that you cannot leave the premises. Apparently, you might get towed if you do so. But why are we here? Why are we in the middle of Brisbane? Well, we are going to be driving State Route 25 today. Now, State Route 25 will take us from Fortitude Valley, starting on Wickham Street, or Ann Street, depending on which direction you're going. Wickham Street and Ann Street will then merge together into Breakfast Creek Road, which will take us through Bowen Hills and through Newstead. Then we'll be heading on onto Kingsford Smith Drive. That'll take us through Hamilton, and then all the way through Eagle Farm and Pinkenba. And eventually we'll find our way to Myrtletown on the other side of the airport. And once we're there, we'll have a bit of a drive round, I think, depending on how I'm feeling. And because it's a bit of an interesting place. I've been there once or twice before, and it's well worth going. It's a bit of an industrial area, but it's a very different industrial area to places like Eagle Farm and Pinkenba. Anyway, I kind of want to get the fuck out of this place as quickly as I can, because I'm still pretty self-conscious about the fact that I'm wearing a GoPro on my head in the middle of what is essentially a Woolworths car park. So let's get out of here. And this time we're actually going to get out of here, because I did back out once before, but I realized I still had my dash cam there. But now I don't, and we're all ready to go. Let's just set that to Bluetooth. And then, let's get out of here. Now, I'm not sure how this place is going to be when it comes to paying for parking. I assume it is just one of those things where it detects your number plate. Not entirely sure. And I'm hoping that we will exit onto Turbot Street, which is where we need to be. But if not, I'm sure we can find our way there. It'll make for interesting content, nonetheless. Spring Hill Marketplace, huh? There we are. Now, is this one way? Yeah, I don't know. Looks one way. Yep, it's one way. Let's go. Perry Lane. Looks like that's what this lane is called. I'll be honest, I have not done much city driving before. I certainly haven't gone into any of the tiny little back alleys like this. But here we are. Looks like this does exit onto Turbot Street, which is exactly where we want to be. And off we go. So there it is, Woolworths Metro. Not the most lovely place to park, but it works nonetheless. So soon enough, we'll be on Wickham Terrace. Just up here, I believe we connect up around after these traffic lights here. And I believe we're here, Wickham Terrace. Welcome to Fortitude Valley, folks. The place that used to be, apparently, before I was ever here, it used to be bustling and hustling, apparently. But I have no memory of that. I was too young at the time, and now it's a bit dead. A little bit on the dead side. I've walked through this place before, back before I had this car. It can be a little bit spooky, and definitely a little bit stinky. But it does have a sort of old towny kind of feel to it. It's got a lot of old looking buildings. I will say that. It looks like coming up here we're going to be merging with Ann Street to create Breakfast Creek Road. Maybe not quite so soon. I spoke too soon. Oh dear. Here we are, here's the merge point. Bowen Hills is off to the west here, at least according to that sign. And then up ahead of us is Newstead. Off to the east, over that way, where all those high-rise buildings are, that is Tenerife. And it's one of the places in Brisbane where, you know, in Australia, well, I suppose more so in southeast Queensland, we tend to build high-rise buildings around roads rather than train stations. Sydney's got the right idea. Got huge major hubs like North Sydney. And they have lots of big buildings around train stations over there. But here in Brisbane we don't seem to have got the picture. I wonder where that's going. Oh. You know, here in Brisbane, it is relatively ordinary, relatively normal to see ambulances and that go around the place. You know, people have health incidents all the time. Police cars, it's less normal, but fire trucks like that, that's even more rare. Usually that means something serious is going down somewhere. Here we are in Newstead now. This is where all the bloody car places are. And there's Bunnings up there, I don't know if you can see that. This route today is a relatively short route, by the way. Most of our other routes have taken around about an hour, just over an hour to do. But this one's probably going to take closer to half an hour or so. Here we are, right now we're crossing over Breakfast Creek. We've already crossed over Breakfast Creek 2 times in these video series. Or, perhaps one of them you haven't seen yet. And probably you haven't seen yet. It's a video I'm saving for later. That bridge back there, that fancy looking new bridge, that's fairly recent. Only, I don't know, maybe 6 months. It's not a car bridge, it's for bikes and pedestrians. You know, I've always wanted to, at some point, buy a bike, and maybe nowadays I might have the chance to do that, and just ride along this section of Kingsford Smith Drive, because This is a major bikeway section of road. Unfortunately, we're on the wrong side of the road to be able to tell, to be able to really see it. But over on that side of the road, over there, right next to the river, there's sort of a suspended bikeway slash pathway. And it's really quite pretty, quite pretty. This whole road is really quite pretty, honestly. It reminds me a little bit of Coronation Drive out west. And then it runs directly alongside the river, and on the left side you've got some cliffs with some very expensive houses. This road as well, probably about, I can't remember exactly, I want to say 5, maybe 10 years ago, got a big upgrade. You see it's 3 lanes here, and it only used to be 2. And it very much needed that upgrade from what I remember, although I don't remember very much. Now over there, they seem to be doing a bit of construction work on what I presume is one of the ferry terminals, perhaps? I'm not sure, I'd have to look it up. And now we're going to deviate away from the river and head through just to the west of Hamilton, which, well, Hamilton North Shore is that collection of buildings there, those high rises there. That's Hamilton North Shore, and I've learnt recently that it's actually a fairly recent development. Before, I think it's like 2016 or so, there never used to be any buildings there, and this was kind of just a bit of a industrial wasteland. And it still is further down. If you go through these buildings here, you turn to the right down here and then head through the roads down there, those buildings will just sort of stop. And you'll be surrounded by huge fields of just concrete. I should take you down there some point. It'll be interesting. Now off to the west of here, or not the west, the north of here, to our left, is the Ascot-Hendra area, where all the race courses are in Brisbane. It's a very posh area, that place is, although not quite as posh as a place like New Farm. And then beyond here, once we get beyond Ascot and Hendra and all that, and beyond the new Hamilton developments, this road kind of becomes a bit of an industrial road. You'll see all those big warehouses on the right-hand side. They're not certainly not the largest warehouses out here. After a little bit, the residential on the left here will end, and we'll be seeing more industrial. Up here on the left is TAFE. Not entirely sure what they teach there, but they teach things. Those are the things that they teach at TAFE. Things, that's for sure. And then up here, this bridge up here, this is Southern Cross Way. I'll take you on there at some point. It's sort of a, it's a sort of connection to the sort of northeastern suburbs of Brisbane. But it doesn't quite connect directly. But we'll see eventually when we head on there. It's one of those strange sort of expressway roads, but it's not really a motorway. But it's not really a road either. And here we are now, we're definitely getting towards the big industrial areas. There's still office buildings around here. You can see them around the place. But there's also warehouses like on the left here. And now it's really opening up. Not so much nature. Nature's kind of disappearing. Holy shit, look at that warehouse, that's incredible. Wow. That's huge. That is huge. Up here is the M1. If you head right here, you head towards the Gateway Bridge and down to the south side. And I have a sneaking suspicion you can't go left here. You can't head north. You kind of have to use Southern Cross Way. Which, by the way, Southern Cross Way, another thing that makes Southern Cross Way interesting is you've got the M1 that goes here, and Southern Cross Way just kind of branches off, goes around a little bit, and then merges back into the M1. It's kind of a more... it's a bit of a local highway, if there is such a thing. Kingsford Smith Drive goes for quite some time, but eventually, this road will change names. I'm not entirely sure what it changes names into. I know it changes names several times before we get to the end of Route 25. And if you saw that sign back there, that said Brisbane Cruise Terminal. And that is probably the only reason anyone's ever going to go to Myrtletown, apart from the occasional workers, is because Myrtletown is where the Brisbane Cruise Terminal is. This here on the left, this train line here on the left, is the Pinkenba branch. Currently it runs passenger trains as far as Doomben Station, and beyond that it's electrified to the old Eagle Farm station. And then it's kind of just abandoned beyond that. It's technically still in use, but no one ever uses it. I think a little while back they had one time where they used it, where I think the line to Fisherman Island was closed for one reason or another, or otherwise inaccessible. So they had to use this rail branch here to meet industrial means. By the way, while we're out here in a little bit more of a wilderness, which, it's funny, it kind of surprises me just how much the industrial just sort of disappears around here. Well, there goes the Pinkenba branch on the left. We won't see that for a little while. Further out we get, it does tend to look a little bit more run down, or it seems to look a little bit more run down. It definitely looks more run down here. Now, another little interesting fact about Myrtletown is that it's not actually a suburb. If you look on Google Maps, there will be just a name in all caps, Myrtletown. And I don't know what exactly it is, whether it's just a name that is given to a place, but it's not a suburb. And so I've always wondered, you know, like, what is it then? I don't know. Now, the further out we get here, as we get further and further out, nature will be taking more and more space. And I believe there is a little bit of residential out here too. Pinkenba Village. Yeah, looks like there's some people that live down here in Pinkenba. That's always fun. Must be interesting living over here. I wonder what the house prices are like. I can't imagine they would cost very much. There'd be a lot of air traffic around here. Lots and lots of air noise. Aircraft noise. Now that's an abandoned building over there. By the way, there is another person on YouTube which has gone down this way and done a bit more of an in-depth view. Probably knows a little bit more about the history of this place. Walkabouts with Rob is his name. So if you want to take a bit of a closer look at this area and know a little bit more, go and watch some of his content. It's pretty good. Way off there in the distance is something to do with aircraft at the airport. Some kind of hangar. I'm not entirely sure what goes on down there, but something does. Obviously, we'll get a closer look as we continue down this road. We're now heading pretty much straight north, and to the west is Brisbane Airport. So we're on the other side of Brisbane Airport. You know, I've never noticed those trees on the right there. With red leaves. This is a very surreal place, this is. Because it's just so big. And there's lots of... There's not much stuff around, but the stuff that's here is really big. Right? Case in point. Let's take a look to the left there, Qantas. Base maintenance. Yum. Look at that. That's a nice big building, isn't it? Then up here, there's another big building. Looks like they're doing some construction up here. And that's the airport right over there. You can see the control tower, if you can see it. Priya's Road, it looks like, is where this is what this road is becoming. Now, we might take a look at the cruise terminal, though there's not all that much to see. They usually have it closed if there isn't a cruise ship here, so we'd basically just get to the end of it and have to turn around. Now that little bridge over there does head across to an island, which is basically just an industrial island. There's some kind of complex over there. With some pipes going towards it, and I'm not sure what goes on over there, but something does, that's for sure. And there's no public access. Now look at these power poles here, they're huge. Don't usually see power poles this tall up here. Well, around anywhere. I wonder why the power poles are so big up here. Wonder if this area needs like extra power or something, I don't know. I don't know. That looks like a bit of a low down way to get to the airport, maybe. I don't know. I shouldn't be. I certainly wouldn't be walking out there, and I recommend you don't either. And here we are. We're now in the industrial part and well into Myrtletown. And it looks like there's some interesting thingamabobs going on here. at those cranes, man. And there's all crane parts too, bits of cranes, bits of crane towers. This is a very strange place. It's even stranger than I remember it being. We can just blow some air on me. There shouldn't really be anyone around here. No one should be doing anything today because it's Sunday. It would be very strange if anyone was around here doing things. Now up here there is going to be another sign that's going to say to turn off for the cruise terminal, but that's not where we're going. State Route 25 takes us all the way to the end of this road, and I believe there is a water treatment plant right at the end of this road. Obviously we can't go in there, that's private property, and there'll be a gate up there too. I can just see it in the distance. But we will head all the way to the end of the road and finish our journey on State Route 25. And we've only been running for around about half an hour, so we'll take a bit of a drive around and see what else there is to look at around here. And this place is, it seems, very loose when it comes to, well, security. So we'll try not to break any laws if we can, if we can avoid doing it. And here we are, the very end of State Route 25. It looks a little bit flooded over here, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Look at that. That's very flooded. Alright, well, let's head over in this direction. There's the water treatment plant there. Looks like something's going on. They've got something going on with that fence there. I'm not sure what that is. Some smoke or something coming off it. Or water, I don't know. Yeah, I tell you what, if you ever wanted like a dystopian future and you wanted a location in Brisbane, this would be the place to put it. Serious industry. You know, not just warehousing, but real industrial shite. This is where you'd go. Now it looks like this is the end of the line for the road here. On the other side of this though is the cruise ship terminal. And the road that goes there. I'd be very surprised if it was open. It looks like there's cars parked there, so there must be a ship out on the ocean at least now, at this point. Let's turn around and we'll head to the cruise terminal. We'll see if it's open. Even if it's open, I probably won't go in there. I don't want to attract any unwanted attention. And apart from the cruise terminal, there is one other place that I want to go while I'm here. And we might even leave the car. Oh my God. Depends on if there's anyone around. You know, I've always kind of wanted to just sort of have a tour of some of these really complex industrial places. Just have a walk around them, you know. Have someone show me around. I'm not sure if there's a thing for that, if there's a way to do that, but if there is, count me in, man. I would not mind it at all. Hello again, my sincerest apologies for that. It seems that you overheated, so I need be a little bit more careful about heat management from now on, I think, and definitely have at least one air conditioning vent blowing on you. And make sure you're not getting way too hot like you did then. We're on a side street, still in Myrtletown, and we're still going to try and take a look at the cruise terminal and see what's down there. And like I said, there is one other place I want to take you, but we'll go to the cruise terminal first. And to get there, we should be able to follow this road. It just looks like a paved section of land, honestly. Very careful with the potholes. Yeah, this place definitely looks kind of flooded right about now. I wonder if that's high tide or if it's just lots of rain that just hasn't been able to dissipate. That's all right, mate. I bet you weren't expecting to see a car on this road anyway. This is a bit of a free-for-all place too. You gotta keep your wits about you, looks like. And then up here, if I'm right, this road should be the one. If we turn right here, it should take us to the cruise terminal. And it definitely does look like there's stuff happening here. I was wrong about that. Things do happen here on a Sunday. I'm just looking at that little area down there. I'm not sure. It looked like a heritage park or something, but maybe not. "24-hour surveillance cameras recording." Yeah, don't worry, I'm not here to commit any crimes, to hurt anyone. Yeah, look at that, holy shit. I guess that's that island I was talking about. It's where all the stuff happens. Actually, no, it can't be, can it? Because that island was just literally just there a little while ago. And yeah, even if this was opened, we're not going in. It's enough just to look out the window and see all of that stuff though, honestly. Like, wow, you got some big ships over there. I don't remember seeing that the last time I was here. Surely it's not new. Can't be new. And there's a big pipeline there that goes across the oceans. Yeah, see, that's the island there. I wonder what that island over there is. Then is. I don't know. We'll take a look at the map once we get to our next destination. That looks like a nice mudflat area down there too. I reckon if you really wanted to, you could walk around there, but I don't particularly feel like doing that today. Now let's make our way back onto the main road. Come on, fellas. There we are. Let's make our way back to the main road. And then, hopefully, hopefully, I can figure out the right turn-off to get to where we need to be. Because in this place, even though it looks like super-duper industrial and everything, there is, in fact, one park. I mean, it's pretty much the case in almost every industrial area. There's usually at least one park somewhere. This one has some heritage listed stuff, but we're not gonna go for a huge big walk around, I don't think. See, that's where we turned off before, that's where we were parked, and it's the next turn off after that one, which is not this one. That's a private road. That goes into that place, wherever that is. It's this one here, I think. Oh, it should be. Said it was on the map. Yeah, and it looks like there's other people there, so maybe we won't be getting out of the car. But here's the one kind of park area around here. You know, the first time I came here, this place had not been mowed in quite some time, and so the grass was just really high. But the paths were still there, the paths that go to that like undercover bit. And that one seat and table there, that's on a slab of concrete. So it stood out, and all the other stuff stood out as well. Now these heritage listed things, I'm not entirely sure what they are. They're either something to do with the war, or something to do with prisoners, or something to do with that, something like that. Now I'm pretty sure Walkabout with Rob in his video, he talks a little bit more about this, and that sign over there gives us a bit more information as well. So check out his video if you want to learn a little bit more. In the meantime, I'm going to avoid pulling over next to this guy. Just out of embarrassment, really. Another interesting thing that happens here is, this is as well, if you're having your house moved, which you can have done, by the way. You can have your house moved from one place to another. This is where they store the houses. Not this area in particular, but around here. A little while back there, yeah, I'm not sure if you noticed, but there were some houses just in these industrial areas. And there's not people living in them, though. Those are houses which are currently between locations. Now let's go for a little bit more of a drive. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to finish the video there, but we might as well continue on just for a little bit longer. We still got about just a little bit less than half battery left. So we might as well keep going for a little bit longer. See if there's anywhere else we can go. Try not trespass on any private roads while we're going. But at some point we will have to find a spot to sort of sit down and end the video. But until then, let's just have a little bit more of a wander around this area. Could go down there. It's a bit of a rocky road though, that is. Now for some reason, just driving down here just reminded me of Nudgee Road for some reason. Maybe it's the long straight section followed by the right-hand turn at the end. And for some reason I thought that there was a like a stopping area up the end of this road, but I don't think there is. I should take you down Nudgee Road at some point, down to Nudgee Beach. It doesn't have a road route attached to it, which I find kind of a little strange. You'd think there would be, given it's the only road that connects Nudgee Road to Brisbane. But at some point we'll go down there. We'll drive the entire length of Nudgee Road. Now one other place that I did want to take a look at was over here on the right. And it seems like as well the speed limit on here is 80. And I didn't realise that the first time round, but oh well. It's not like there's many people around. That road there, I don't know where that road goes. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm glad I came back the other way. Look at that. Holy shit. Holy Jesus Christ. Look at that. My God. Jesus Christ. That's huge. That hangar there, that's huge. Now that sign says 60. Wonder why it was 80 down that road then. That's very strange. That's very strange. Anyway, soon enough we're going to have to find a spot to set down. And unfortunately we're actually now heading out of Myrtletown, and I'm not entirely sure if there is a spot to set down outside Myrtletown. We could have a drive around Pinkenba, that would be nice. Bit of land for sale back there. Wonder what they'd be doing with that. And I wonder what the name of that creek is. If I find out what the name of that creek is, I'll pop it on the screen up right now. It's a very small creek, it looks like. Port Brisbane, huh? Wonder what that is. Port Brisbane. Now that road there, I think I've actually driven down that road and then seen the signs that say private road and gone, oh shit, whoops. Because there are some private roads that you shouldn't go down on this road here, around this area. You gotta be careful you don't find yourself in a bit of a rough spot. There's a park there, or at the very least, oh no, it looks like probably private property. Let's have a bit of a drive around this Pinkenba Village, huh? See what's around here. I'm not expecting there to be much, but you never know. There's definitely some bus stops around here, that's for sure. And there's a lovely little park, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, it just looks like residential to me. Post office. It's just a nice little residential area. Alright then. You know, oh, there's a little parking area up here. We'll go on there. We'll go in there. You know, this seems like as good a place as any to settle down. Well, there we are. It's a very interesting place, this area. It really is. It's very surreal as well being around here, and especially in the industrial area down there. I'll have to look and see what that big island with all the ships on it was. I might throw the name of it up on the screen if I find it. But anyway, that's Route 25 and a little bit extra, driving around the Myrtletown area, and then eventually through Pinkenba Village around here. I would have liked to show you a little bit more of that park in the industrial area, because it is very, well, not very, it's quite interesting. And it's got an interesting vibe. And that's what I'm about. I'm mostly about the vibe. But maybe we'll return there later. In the meantime, thank you for joining me on this journey down State Route 25 and through the Myrtletown area. And I hope you'll join me next time, wherever we go. And until then, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.